So I'm gonna try this again and hopefully I get something that's up to par. But hi, my name is Laura and I am a new booktuber. So I was planning on coming in kind of hot, just throwing a book review out there, but I figured since I found this new booktuber newbie tag, might as well give it a whirl. The first time I did this, I was kind of I was really nervous, so I was kind of all over the place. So I'm going to try to be more streamlined. I'm not going to be as quirky as I usually am. And I was like, boop, boop, boop. I wasn't boop, 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 but hopefully this comes out a little bit better and a little bit less scatterbrained. But I do have a list of questions, so we're just going to get right into it.
All right, let's do this.
Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Again, my name is Laura, and on Instagram, I go by Vicarious Adult. And that's basically because, you know, I live vicariously through my characters. I'm kind of a homebody, so I just read books really. And through the books, I kind of experience life in a way. Not really, I know, I'm not crazy, guys, but you know. They say you experience a lot of adventures while reading a book without ever leaving your home, and I do believe that. So I live vicariously through my characters, and hopefully one day I'll be able to make my own adventure worth writing. All right, that was corny. Let's get this started. So first question, my tongue is sore for some reason. I woke up and it was hurting, and it's been hurting ever since. So I'm talking kind of weird. This is not how I usually talk. Bear with me. Okay, so first question, why did you start this channel? I always wanted to start a book review channel, but I just never had, I always made excuses not to make a channel. Pretty legitimate excuses. I was in medical school for a very long time, and so even though I wanted to do more with books and more with the arts, because I was in medical school, I didn't really have time. I was busy studying, and so I couldn't really dedicate the time it really needed to cultivate a worthwhile booktube channel. And to be honest, when I was looking into doing booktube a couple years ago, I didn't really see any faces like mine. So I didn't really want to expend the energy to kind of force that kind of diversity in the booktuber world at that point, just because I was juggling a lot with school, work, bills, and things like that. So I just decided to let that go. And I always said I would go back to writing and go back to the thing that I love the most, which is reading and writing and doing book reviews once I was done with medical school. So it's been a while since I finished medical school, but so I said, you know, let's just dive in and just figure it out. So what are some fun or unique things you can bring to BookTube? I haven't really thought about this question. I just know that just because it's me, I'm unique. No one can be me.
And that's on period. Period.
And so I kind of just want to put that out there in the booktube world, you know, like books can be fun. And when I hear people that say they don't like reading or anything like that, or prefer like watching the movie instead of reading the source material, I really feel like they're missing out on the source material, because source material can be very rich, way more rich than live action. It's very surface level. You don't really get to know the characters and what the characters could be through just live action. There's only a couple that have done it pretty good. Probably like the Harry Potter series. I haven't read the Harry Potter series. I don't know if I should start off my booktuber career admitting that.
What?
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 What? What?
The whole Harry Potter series, I saw it on my run to Target one day. I was very tempted to buy it, and one day I will. I don't even know how I got on to that, but what question was I on? What question was this? But we're back on track. Back on it. Don't mind my nails. They were too long, and so I just clipped them off, and now they look weird. I was trying to be someone I wasn't. You can't be who you're not supposed to be. So that's the fun and unique thing that I can bring to the booktube world, is just being me, putting my spin to things, giving you guys new perspectives, and just making sure everyone is just having fun, because that's what books are for. Just having fun, food for thought, and just taking you out of the stressors of the world. So what are you most excited for this new channel? I'm just excited to share my thoughts and my opinions on different things that I read. I'm not always going to read the latest and the hottest thing that's going around, especially with YA, because I notice I'm kind of stepping back from YA now, just because a lot of YA has a lot of teen angst that is starting to annoy me. So I kind of just want to do book reviews on things that I like, and even things that I don't like, because I do want to challenge myself in finishing a story, even though it pains me to do it, just so I can have a well-balanced book review channel. You know, things that I like, things that I don't like, and things that I don't really care for. So I definitely have ideas for videos on that, and hopefully we can have a fruitful conversation, dialogue with those ideas that I put out into the world, and just, again, have fun. Why do you love reading? Reading is like relaxing, but like exciting. It's kind of like watching a movie, but the movie is just in your head. A lot of people watch movies so they can relax, but they also want to enjoy the movie. They want something that fills them with excitement and joy, and that's what reading does for me. Reading, you have to have a really good imagination, because you're reading words, you're reading descriptors, so that pictures can form in your head, and you're not just reading, you're actually following along with this movie that's going on in your head. You don't always have to sit down and watch a movie. Not everything's in movie format, and so you have all these literary works that you can just read. Images keep flowing through your head like it's a movie, and you're just having a good time.
Whatever you say.
What book or book series that got you into reading? When I was younger, I used to hate books. I don't know if they do this now in schools, because school curriculums are so different. Even how they do math problems are so different. But during my day, God, I'm saying during my day, I'm really at that age. One of the classes that they made us do was reading. So you had math, English, science, social studies, reading, and I think another thing, I don't know. But one of the classes was actual like reading. Like they didn't combine reading and English class. They said you have a class for reading and you have a class for English. Sometimes they overlapped, but basically reading was just for you to read. I didn't have a book to bring from home. I didn't have books at home at that point. It wasn't until I went into 6th grade, which was middle school. I was about 11, 12. Again, back in my day, they had something called the Scholastic Readers Catalog. And basically, teachers would get this catalog, and it had a lot of cool, cheap things in the catalog that a lot of students could buy if they chose, if they had the money. And I had like a little bit of change. I don't know where I got this change, but I did. I was looking through the catalog and I saw a book called Tea Witches, and I was like, that's interesting, because at this point I was a big fan of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I think Angel was on at that point as well, but I was really into that, and I was into the whole supernatural thing. I remember it was about $2 to buy a book. $2 to buy a whole 300-page book. Man, we didn't know how good we had it. But basically, the catalog for the Scholastic readers thing would come like weekly or every day, I don't know. But my reading teacher, she was actually really cool, my reading teacher. She passed out the catalog. I really want to read something that I actually enjoy. And so I found Tea Witches, and it was for like $2 or $2.99, something like that, where it literally, I just had money in my back pocket and I was like, let me buy this. And from there, I loved the book. I was like, this is what books can be. Like literally, I was like mind blown. I didn't know that books could actually be interesting and fun. I just thought they were here to torture us, like literally. I got the book, started reading it, and that's when I had the actual epiphany that I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to create worlds. I wanted to have fun, and having fun meant like writing things and reading and anything to do with that. That's what I wanted to do. And so that's basically how I got into reading. Actually, hold on one second. I still have the book that started my journey, started it all. Like, this is it, guys.
Witches.
Twin witches! Exactly!
Look at this bad boy. Over 10 years old, man. This is the exact book that I bought for $2.99. Look at that. I even got on sale. It says $4.50. When do you see a book that's $4.50 that's actually like good? $4.50, 308 pages. Look at that. I had no regard for book care. None. Like, look, I got tape. I got random seahorse stickers. I scratched out their eyes for some reason. Like, why? I was out of control. Wow. I had my friends write in it. Like, I even taped my schedule, and then eventually I ripped it off, but wrote my name. I don't know why there was highlighter. Like, this was my very first book that got me into writing. Ooh, maybe this will be my thumbnail. God, I'm so extra. See, this is why I have to re-record, because, honey. All right, so what questions would you ask other booktubers? I would ask, I don't know what I would ask. I would ask if, if there's ever a time where they just feel like it's not worth it anymore. How do you keep reading? Even books that you don't like, how do you even how?
Tell me how!
How? I know there's a handful of books that for the life of me, I cannot go back to. There's 4 books that I'm actively reading right now. They're not grabbing my attention like they used to. So it's kind of like, how do you push through that? Because it's something that you want to review, but you need to actually read and, so you can have an opinion. And how do you do that even though there's a book that you're not particularly fond of and you're halfway through it? It's like a 300-page book. You're halfway through it. You're falling asleep constantly. How do you push through those tough times?
Tell me how!
So next question. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Consistency. Like, for me to start this booktube thing, it was really hard for me because I am a type of person that after work, I just want to decompress for like hours and hours on end because I feel like I deserve it. Like, I have a very stressful job. It's very stressful. So I guess it would be consistency, to be proactive and actively recording things, actively reading. But I don't want to lose the joy of reading because I feel like I'm under pressure to make sure I have something to review. And obviously the editing process, because editing, I just edited like a little snippet and put it on YouTube, and that was like so like nerve-wracking. So I don't even know if I positioned my camera correctly. It's a mess, but the first time. I'm sure it'll get better with time. We can only pray.
Dear historically correct Black Jesus.
When did you start reading? I kind of went over that with the book series that made me start reading. So I would say I officially started reading for fun when I was 10 or 11 in 6th grade. Where do you read? I read anywhere possible. I used to live in Boston, Massachusetts. That's my hometown. And it's a big metro area. Like, to get places, legit, you would take like buses and trains and trolleys and everything. One of the ways that I would read would be on my morning commute. My morning commutes on the train would usually be an hour. So I would either sleep or I would actually read my books. And so those were just such great times to read books. Like, I really miss those times because now I live in the South. And even though I prefer the weather down here, that's one of the things that I miss living up north, is the fact that I could take like a commuter train, Amtrak, Red Line, Orange Line, a bus route, and just sit and read for a good 40 minutes, uninterrupted, and get so much reading done. That was like the only way I could like fit in reading between work and school. And then I went to medical school, and then that totally got derailed. But even then, I would still find ways to like fit in some reading. So now I just read on my couch. I try not to read on my couch because my couch really knocks me out. Like, my couch is so comfortable. Before I know it, I'm asleep. So either my couch, I have a reading chair that I specifically bought so I could sit down and read, but sometimes I fall asleep in the chair as well. I read in my bedroom, but obviously I tend to fall asleep in the bedroom. So right now it's a battle between me and sleep. I'm gonna read. If I have to read one sentence at a time, I guess that's what I have to do. And last question, what kind of books do you like to read? I still like to read YA fantasy, or just YA in general. I am kind of trying to get into more adult fiction. I'm trying to get into more adult fiction, more adult contemporary romances. But a good YA fantasy is always welcome. Like, I just got into the I Am 4 series. I'm on the last book. That's one of the books that I'm kind of losing interest in, but I'm on the last book. This is the last leg. This is where we find out who wins the war, and I'm going to find out who wins this dang war.
Period.
But one of the reasons why it's so hard for me to finish reading I Am 4 is because of the teen angst. Oh, Lord, the teen angst. I don't know how people read through teen angst, like, unless you're an actual teen, which clearly, I mean, it's for teens, and I'm not a teen anymore, so I really can't appreciate the teen angst anymore, and I'm kind of sad about that. It's one of the reasons why I'm like, ugh. But I'm gonna finish it. I do like a little bit of adult sci-fi fantasy. And I'm also trying to read adult alterated.
Tomara que a Júlia seja muito feliz com a escolha dela.
Altered Carbon. God, the way that author writes, I so envy him. Oh my God, he writes so beautifully, but then it slows me down because I'm like, wait, what? I'm definitely still into YA, but not as much as before. But I'm definitely getting into more adult fiction, more adult contemporary romance, and more adult sci-fi related content. So I'm not huge sci-fi, but I do appreciate sci-fi, definitely. But those are the type of books that I'm into. There's always going to be a YA book in rotation, but not as much as it used to be. So, wow. Compared to the first time that I recorded this, way better in timing. So, I'll probably include like little clips here and there. I don't know what, like, I don't know where I'm going with the sentence. Yeah, it needed to be re-recorded because I was just talking and talking and talking and not making any sense. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know how to transition. I am just babbling on. So if you see a lot of jump cuts, and I'm going to stop talking now because I've answered all the questions, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. I'm really hoping I'm looking at the camera. I don't know if I am, and whenever I'm not, let me know. It'll be fun because okay, I'm gonna get it right sooner or later, but this is my first official booktube video, and I hope that I can keep up, be consistent, and just have fun with you guys. I hope you guys can have fun with me. You can find me on Instagram or YouTube under the same name, Vicarious Adults, and I will see you guys next week. Or this week, whenever this drops. I think I'm gonna drop this week, this Wednesday. We'll see. We can only keep our fingers crossed. Bye. Where am I looking? I just don't know.